Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about gut dysfunction? Because I think that, first of all, I don't really entirely know what that means. So
Yeah.
my question might be not be completely aligned. However, I'm assuming it's just stomach issues.
Yep.
I do think that that is a huge issue with humans, and we just chalk it up to like, I have a stomach ache, I'm bloated, I have
Mhm.
diarrhea, whatever it is,
Yep.
not connecting our food to the ailment. So can you talk a little bit
Mhm.
on gut dysfunction?
Yeah, and here's what's fun because I'll throw you for a little bit of a loop. So gut dysfunction, yes, it's anything that's going on. It can be the heartburn, it can be all of the stuff, right? Gut dysfunction can also cause anxiety, depression, joint pain, brain fog, right? So we have the vagus nerve that connects our brain and our gut. So we hear, I think more often these days, but how there's that connection, there's the gut brain connection, and how the gut is the second brain. Well, is it the same thing? Potentially, right? So they are connected, and it's our our microbiome speaks to our brain, and there is, I think it's 90% of the serotonin, which is our happy neurotransmitter, is produced in the gut. So it's this really cool thing that it's so connected, as well as the whole body is very connected. So keeping that in mind, we're not disconnected people, right? We're very connected. But gut dysfunction occurs again if we were to sort of, generally speaking, you ask the questions why. Well, it goes back to environment, right? Whether it's internal environment or external environment. What is it that has triggered this dysfunction? Because there's something. It's not just life. It's not just because you have IBS, which is a very stupid general term. It's not, it's all of these things that we're told because if we don't have answers, we have to give it a name. Okay, well, it's just IBS, which is silly. So to get kind of down to the nitty gritty of it, we have a chemical called zonulin. And zonulin's in the gut, and well, it's actually all over the body. So you can look at the gut lining, and you can look at the cardiovascular system lining, you can the brain lining, right? It's everything. And so this zonulin is normal and natural. It goes up and it goes down, tends to go up in pregnant women. And so it pulls the cells apart in in that lining. And so when and I don't know why it does it in pregnant women. I think it has something, and in times of starvation, I think it has something to do with that, and something that's very, old. But there's a reason for it. Where the problem comes in is when zonulin stays elevated. And zonulin tends to go up by alcohol, drugs, gluten, dairy, things that the body's sensitive to. And when it stays elevated and it's constantly pulled apart, then there are products, things, food, microbes, yeast that get through that lining and into the bloodstream. The body's like, whoa, I don't know what this is, but it's not supposed to be here. So I am going to attack it, right? So it creates this massive inflammatory response. What happens then is that's kind of when we start to see, that autoimmune conditions can develop, because you have this constant inflammatory response and this constant elevated zonulin, this constant leaky gut, and the body's fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and then over time just develops this dysfunction, right? The antibodies kind of go crazy and start to attack, say, your thyroid tissue, which is Hashimoto's, or your brain tissue, or whatever the case may be. So we want to nip it in the bud and know that it's not normal to have to always know where a bathroom is. This is something that I see a lot. People will spend their lives going, okay, I can go here as long as I know where the bathroom is. And it's heartbreaking, right? It's also not normal to not go to the bathroom for more than a day. I have people who are like, oh, it's been 2 days, it's been 5 days, it's been 7 days. And my heart aches because it's so incredibly toxic, and we have to get that stuff out. And there's great ways of doing it. We just gotta know what to do.
Yeah, I actually knew somebody whose husband died and he hadn't gone to the bathroom for like 9 days. It might have even been more. And he died because he was poop was backed up. And they said that it actually like came back up or something. And like at the death, it like pushed back up and was coming out of his mouth.
Wow.
At the end. It might have even been more days than that. But he refused to go to the doctor. Yeah, and he was young. He was like in his 50s.
So I want to say this real quick. This is going to the doctor is very important, especially when it's very acute, right? But if it's a chronic situation, just putting you on laxatives is not the answer. So I want to make sure people hear that, because so often there are microbial changes that can create either diarrhea or constipation or both, kind of back and forth, back and forth. And so kind of, again, always ask why. Just I still ask why, and I still learn that we can go deeper and deeper and deeper, right? But if that is a situation and your doctor just says, well, let's just put you on this drug or this, whatever it might be, make sure that you're finding someone who's going to help you dig for the answers, because covering up symptoms is not digging for the answers, is not finding the answers, is not helping you in most cases.